Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Cerebral Smack Talk here live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golem F. Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Florio, Dee Woodson, and Michael Bullock. All right, guys, so as many of you guys know, tonight was going to be, a loaded show. We already told you that we were going to try to do SmackDown Live. We were going to do Worlds Collide and the Royal Rumble preview. However, based off the intel that I got about SmackDown Live tonight, I feel to do an executive order and not review SmackDown Live tonight. Now, I want to run this by the other three because I heard it wasn't a great show at all. So I'm just gonna leave it up to you guys. I was gonna be on the impression of basically pulling the plug and not doing the show tonight, or at least not doing the SmackDown show and just doing the previews of the Rumble and Worlds Collide. What says you guys? Are you cool with that?
Well, here's the thing, MF. You are the technically, you are the executive producer of this show, and what you say goes.
But so, I want to get the input of my members. I'm not just gonna pull the trigger just because I. So, do you feel? Would you be cool if I call it? If I say no SmackDown?
That's fine.
I'm cool.
You're cool with that?
I'm fine. Because here's the thing, Fletch. I was gonna go on a rant about something, but now that you just said about pulling the plug on it, it just saved me from going on a rant.
All right. Okay. So with that said, we'll pull it. So it's done. It's out. So there you go. The SmackDown has been postponed. It's not happening tonight. And we'll probably, hopefully we'll have something for it for next week. But anyway, so with that said, we're just going to pull the trigger and we're going to go right into Worlds Collide then. So Worlds Collide goes down tomorrow from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, exclusively on the WWE Network. And it is NXT UK versus NXT USA in a series of matches to determine, who's the better brand. So we're going to start it out with a tag team fight. DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano representing NXT USA, and they go up against Trent Severin and Tyler Bate, Mustache Mountain, representing NXT UK. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. This could be one of the biggest fights of the night. This could be an awesome match, no doubt about it. I really got a lot of good feelings about this. As far as who I think is going to win it, man, look, Severin and Bate is a great tag team. They are. If you've seen Mustache Mountain on NXT UK, get ready, guys. You're going to be in for a treat. And as far as I feel, I think this is a really good squad. And to go up against DIY, who is really one of the best, but, are they really on the same page? It's been a while since they worked together. I don't know. I kind of feel like this is where I think UK wins the match. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the winner of the bout and getting the 1 point to start off the night, I'm going to go with UK. Mustache Mountain gets the win for me. So nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, I give it to you.
Yes. They also announced they're going to have a pre-show match featuring the UK Women's Champion Kaylee Ray squaring off against Mia Yim. So that's been added to the pre-show. So that should be something there. This will be Johnny Gargano's first match since October the 2nd on NXT against Shane Thorne. It will also be his 7th match ever since TakeOver New York in April. Also, I mean, that's weird, man. But also weird is Gargano and Ciampa reforming as a babyface tag team after trying to kill each other for over a year in a heated blood feud. I get that they're reuniting to fight a common enemy in the Undisputed Era, but it just reeks of typical WWE always forgiven booking that ends up happening with split tag teams. But on paper, this match should be fantastic since these are two of the best tag teams in recent history. And Trent7 tweeted on Twitter. He said, see Johnny Gargano and Ciampa are mates again, Tyler. Wouldn't it be wonderful if they could stay mates long enough to fight us? Mustache Mountain versus DIY. What do you say, William Regal? Possibly worlds collide. And here we are. Neither team were on the go-home show either, instead shaking hands during a dark segment before the broadcast. Mustache Mountain should win because they are the most established tag team at this point. But I'm going to go with DIY because them winning their first match back together feels like a very WWE thing to do. So I'm going to go with DIY to win this match. But the thing is, I'm going to go on the record. I think this is going to be the show stealer right here. This is going to be at least 4.5, maybe even the full 5. So that's all I can say on that. So I'm going with DIY to win this. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. DIY, Mustache Mountain. I think we're gonna have to put a call into the Houston PD because I think these boys are gonna steal the dang show.
Oh, I think they're gonna steal the dang show. I mean, yeah, when you got these two teams, especially, you got DIY back together, and you've seen what Mustache Mountain has been able to do in NXT UK, and of course, two combustible elements colliding. This is a tough one for me to call. Part of me wants to see Mustache Mountain go over and get their moment, but I think because the fans are just so happy to see DIY back together for this one big match, I think this is the one time you need them to go over. So I'm going to go with DIY to win this, but I would not be surprised that Mustache Mountain pulls out this one here. So nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
I'm going to go with Mustache Mountain. I think they're going to pull this off. You have Ciampa and Gargano that kind of are mixed in with this whole thing with Adam Cole and Finn Balor. So, it only makes sense to have Mustache Mountain win when you kind of have the other storyline going as well. So I have nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. Next up we have was the match to determine the Cruiserweight Champion of the World. Fatal 4-way match representing NXT USA, the reigning, defending, undisputed Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Angel Garza. He will go up against Isaiah Swerve Scott, also representing NXT USA, representing NXT UK, Travis Banks and Jordan Devlin. Anthony Florio? Oh, actually, yeah, Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Only fitting because I'm the 205 Live guy here. So they had qualifying matches to determine Garza's 3 challengers for this 4-way. Scott defeated Leo Rush and Tyler Breeze on last week's NXT, while Devlin and Banks beat Legero and Brian Kendrick, respectively, on this week's NXT UK. Given the talent involved, this could be a good match, though I worry that it will suffer from the 2 guys in the ring at a time, while the other 2 catch their breath on the outside and wait their turn cliche that seems to plague so many four-way dances. But in all likelihood, Garza you just put the title on him recently. I think it would be way too soon to take the title off of him. So it would be kind of cool to see a title switch, but at the same time, I mean, I really don't think they're going to have Garza as a transitional champion. It is way too early to take the title off of him, especially after that magical night he had when he won the title and then ended up getting engaged to his lady afterwards. So there's nothing left for me to say. This is an easy one here. Winner and still is
I guess it's my turn now. So
Yep,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, I agree with Florio. I mean, I think it's too soon to take the title off of Angel Garza since he won it. I mean, I like what I've seen from Isaiah Swerve Scott and then the two others. But the thing, like I said, Angel Garza. I mean, the last thing you want to do is to make him a transitional champion. So as far as I'm concerned, I agree. I'm going to go with Angel Garza to retain the NXT Cruiserweight title. So nothing more to say. Dee, what's in yours?
I'm going to agree. I think it's going to be Angel Garza. So not much else I'm going to say. It's yours, Fletch.
I'm gonna say Angel Garza as well. So we got nothing more to say. Next up, one-on-one match representing NXT USA, Finn Balor going up against. All right, Anthony, you're gonna have to help me on this one. Is it Ilja Dragovec?
Ilja Dragunov. That's the best I can come up with.
Ilja Dragunov representing NXT UK. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I think this should be another good one here. I mean, Ilya Dragunov with what he's done in NXT UK, but he wants to make a name for himself at the hands of Finn Balor. But Finn Balor just returned to NXT and says no. I mean, nobody's going to take the Princess spot. So I think this should be a good match, but I'm going to go with Finn Balor to go over here. So nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. I think Finn's going to walk away with this one. Fletch, it's yours.
I got to go with Balor. I got to go with, I just think Finn's going to win the match. I really got nothing else to say about it. So, yeah, I got Finn as well. I think Finn wins. There's really nothing more to add. So let's just move right along. Anthony, it's yours.
Yep. They announced it completely out of the blue on a WWE Now video on YouTube on January 9th, which only hammers how thrown together most of this show is. Unlike the DIY Mustache Mountain match, this one actually got a modicum of build on programming. Balor sent a message to Dragunov by squashing Joaquin Wilde on NXT this week, while Ilja had a promo vignette on the same episode. He then cut another brief promo about Balor on the following day's NXT UK. But the match itself could rock if it turns into a slugfest. Ilja had one of those against Cesaro at TakeOver Cardiff last summer, and he thrived in that. So hopefully Balor cranks up the intensity himself and delivers in kind. But at the end, I agree. I'm going to make it unanimous. I got Finn Balor going over as well. So let's move on.
Next up we have is the big one. NXT women's title match on the line. The champion, Rhea Ripley, goes up against Toni Storm. Dee Woodson, it is all yours. Give me your thoughts on this championship fight.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley. I mean, she just got the title, so and then of course she's got the match with Belair coming up, and we all saw what happened the last NXT where she took out Storm and Io. So, yeah, I really think Ripley's going to win this one. So, not much more I'm going to say. It's yours, Fletch.
I got to go with Rhea Ripley. Totally agree. I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup, but I think with everything going on, I got to go with Rhea. So Rhea Ripley's still the women's champion. Yeah, and I'm going to give it off to Anthony Florio.
Finally, a match with an actual build here. Back in 2018, a then heel Ripley defeated Toni Storm in the finals of a tournament to become the first NXT UK Women's Champion. Storm defeated Ripley in a rematch at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool last year to win the title, then beat her again in the rubber match. Flash forward a year later, and Ripley is now both the babyface and the NXT Women's Champion. Storm, meanwhile, has been showing more of an aggressive side since losing the UK Women's title to Kaylee Ray. A few weeks ago, Storm turned up on NXT and interrupted Ripley's championship victory speech. She challenged Ripley to a title match, taunting that she was 2-1 against the champion, and she then promised that she would beat Kaylee Ray in their previously scheduled match at TakeOver Blackpool 2 to win back the NXT UK Women's title, then beat Rhea at Worlds Collide to become a double champion. Toni failed to beat Ray again in Blackpool, so now she'll likely take out her frustrations on Ripley in Houston tomorrow night. First match on the card with stakes, a proper backstory, some potential for character development, and it looks good on paper to boot. As for who wins, it is way too soon to stop the Rhea Ripley Express. She'll beat Storm here and then turn her attention to Bianca Belair at TakeOver Portland. So, winner and still NXT Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, way too soon to derail Ripley's push. I mean, she's way too hot right now.
Yeah, yeah, these two certainly told a really good story. I mean, basically going back to their days when they competed in the Mae Young Classic, and of course over at NXT UK, and and now with Rhea Ripley as the NXT Women's Champion, and I agree, it's way too soon to take the title off of her. I mean, the last thing you want to do is make someone good like Rhea Ripley look like a paper champion. Because I'll tell you this, guys, she ain't no paper champion, and I don't think she's going to be anytime soon. So, yeah. So this should be a really good match, but in the end, the winner and still NXT Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. And so there's nothing more to say. Fletch, I think we got one more match to talk about.
The main event of the show, and it is an 8-man tag team match, but let's be realistic. It's who's the best stable in NXT. Get ready for true brand warfare. Representing NXT USA, the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong. Representing NXT UK, Imperium, the United Kingdom Champion, Walter, Marcel Battel, Alexander Wolf, and Fabian Eichner. Imperium versus UE, the Undisputed Era. Oh my goodness. All right. This one was set it up as good as you could have got in it. You know, in the last couple of weeks, we were seeing how both teams were making their runs during the Dusty Rhodes Classic, but you started to see an underlying war starting to break out right towards the end when it came to these teams. Was there any survival? We'll see. But when it's all said and done, this is very close, and this is probably going to be the hardest decision to make. I don't know how they're going to give this. Of course, Undisputed Era, they're kind of reeling right now. Knocked out of the semifinals of the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and Roderick Strong just lost the North American Championship. For Imperium, same thing. Knocked out in the semifinal of the tournament, but that's all that's been it. Everybody's been looking strong. I think if push comes to shove, they give this to Undisputed Era. But I would not be stunned if we hear Imperium wins this fight. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go out on a limb. I think that NXT USA will win the night. They'll win the most matches. But when it comes to the big fight, the main event, I got to go Imperium. I'm sorry. Walter, Alexander Wolf. Wolf is an ICW guy. I love this guy. This guy is a bona fide star. He was a bona fide star when he was with when he was Insanity. Even though he was never used, but he was a big time player. Fabian Agner, I know very well from ICW as well. Marcel Batel, dude, this guy is a beast around the world, especially in the he did Rev Pro, Revolution. He's done ICW. He's done so many other things. And Walter, the UK champion, Walter, can I say it? The slaps is like gunshots going off. He hits you with one of these shots, you're done. I mean, there's really nothing more for me to say. So I'm gonna call it.
Adam Cole found out the hard way on Wednesday.
Oh, don't even remind me about that, Bullock. Don't even remind me. I forgot about what happened on Wednesday night with Adam Cole.
I'll tell you what. I don't want to be at the on the receiving end of those. Otherwise, my chest will definitely look beet red.
Forget
all that.
Forget it. One shot to the chest, you'll be dead. You'll be dead. That's how bad he slaps. I think if you want to know how bad he slaps, remember that fight he had with Pete Dunne for the NXT UK title? And did you see what Dunne looked like after the fight was over? Yeah. Get ready. If he tags UE with one of those slaps, who knows? They might not even make it to Rumble tomorrow, the next day. So, nothing more to say. I got Imperium winning it. Anthony, it's yours.
Oh, man. Wow. This was the first match announced for the show and probably the most obvious one to book if you just looked at the two brands' rosters. NXT and NXT UK both have a dominant four-man heel stable that acts as the centerpiece of the show, with the leader as that brand's top champion. Fans have been waiting for this match to happen for quite a while now, and it only makes sense to have it take place at an event like Worlds Collide. Imperium became a semi-regular presence in NXT when the show went live on USA back in September, but they had managed to avoid any confrontations with the Undisputed Era. That was until the Worlds Collide match was announced. The Undisputed Era fired the first shot when they surprise attacked Imperium at the end of TakeOver Blackpool 2. Imperium gained a measure of revenge by costing Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly their semifinal match in the Dusty Classic. Then both teams brawled again to close out the go-home show the other night. I would imagine for this match only, the Undisputed Era might be the baby faces here since they're the smaller of the two teams and will have a quote-unquote home field advantage of sorts. But that said, I think Imperium will pick up the win. They need a major victory on this show to save face, and Imperium beating Undisputed Era after a hard-fought battle would be just the ticket. Now, I want to drop a scenario here. As you all know, this past Wednesday night, Roderick Strong lost the NXT North American Championship to Keith Lee. So he could take the fall here. And if you do that, you could then use that loss to potentially reignite the quote-unquote weak link tension between Adam Cole and Roderick Strong that we saw several months back. Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel could claim a shot at Fish and O'Reilly's NXT Tag Team Championships, and Walter could proclaim Imperium as the stronger of the two groups and set out to conquer the rest of NXT USA. But we'll have to wait and see. So you know what, MF? I'm going to agree with you on this. I'm going with Imperium to win this match, even though my gut tells me to go with UE because of how dominant they've been the last few years. But Imperium needs that shot in the arm, and I think they get it here. So I'm going to go with Imperium to win this match. So Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah. Yeah, this should be a really good one. Two of the most dominant factions in the NXT. Part of me, feels like wants to go with the Undisputed Era because, especially after the way everything went down on Wednesday, not just with the brawl, but obviously Roderick Strong losing the North American Championship to Keith Lee, and they feel like they need a little something to get themselves back on track and to prove why they are the dominant faction in NXT. But you really want to push Imperium and make them look like a really, really strong faction. So to me, I'm in agreement. I'm going to go with Imperium to win, and I think Walter's going to be the one to get the winning pin for the team. And yeah, somebody from Undisputed Era is going to be on the receiving end of one of those vicious chops from Walter. Dee, what's yours?
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous. I'm going to go with Imperium winning on this. I mean, it's planning. I think it's going to plant a seed for a future match between Walter and Cole, possibly for the title if Cole retains it. You know, because Walter does look like the stronger guy, and Imperium definitely is, I think, the stronger faction in this situation. So, not much what I had to say about it. It's yours, Fletch.
From there, we're going to shift gears right into the Royal Rumble event. So, here is the official rundown for the Royal Rumble as it stands as of tonight. First off, we have a match on Monday Night Raw for the United States title. The champion, Andrade, putting the title on the line against Humberto Carrillo. And we're going to start it off this way. I'm going to start it. We'll reset the deck. So, at the end of the day, I think Andrade's going to keep the belt. Humberto's got a little nice momentum going and everything else, and he's gotten a couple of victories, but Andrade just recently became the United States champion. And I know for a fact that they wanted it to have him have a run with the belt for a little bit. So I could see why a lot of people would go with this one. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Andrade to win, successfully defend the title. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
I agree. Despite the fact that Carrillo just recently returned to the fold as the babyface seeking retribution against the heel champion, it's simply too early to strip the title away from the rising star that is Andrade. Carrillo, a definitive star in the making, will hold that mid-card title one day, but that will not come Sunday night in Houston. Andrade needs a lengthier run with the U.S. title, not only to solidify himself as a viable threat, but also keep that thriving Raw mid-card scene strong. So, should be a great matchup here. I wouldn't be surprised if they put it on the kickoff show, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I agree with MF. The winner and still the United States Heavyweight Champion, El Idolo, Andrade. And don't be surprised if the sexy Zelina Vega had something to do with that. Ain't that right, Bullock? As I give it to you.
Yeah, and the thing is, guys, I mean, part of me part of me wants to go with the Humberto Carrillo. I mean, this would be the perfect way for him to get some payback because remember it was Andrade who cost him a chance for the United States Championship and the reason why Andrade is the United States champion right now at the expense of Humberto Carrillo. But yeah, I mean, the last thing you want to do is take the title away from him because he is the rising star and then as part of that mid-card talent, and you definitely want to keep the momentum going of Andrade. And don't be surprised that Zelina Vega does get involved here. So, should be a fun match. But in the end, Andrade wins and retains the United States Heavyweight Championship. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous. I think Andrade is going to retain the title. Yeah, it would be really nice to see Humberto walk away with it, but no, I don't think so. I think it's going to be Andrade. I mean, he just won the title, so why have him drop it so soon? So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, next fight that we have on the card, the SmackDown Women's title on the line. The champion, Bayley, goes up against the challenger, the sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
This is a very tough one to call here. It really is. Now, since the face turn, I mean, when they slowly turned Lacey Evans, she didn't really take off as a face, which seemed kind of predictable, but also sets up plenty of reasons to keep the title on Bayley and wait for a better time to move the prize. A lot of the decision-making on this could come down to who is winning the Women's Royal Rumble match. But I don't know. I'm not sure if WWE is ready to move on from the Bayley and Sasha heel combo on top of the SmackDown Women's division. Now, whether people agree with that sentiment or not, Bayley's run with the SmackDown Women's title has not exactly lived up to expectations, even with the fresh heel turn. Meanwhile, Lacey Evans, surprisingly to some, is slowly but surely starting to catch on as a babyface with the crowds more and more each week, including tonight. That great interview that she did with Michael Cole. And a shocking title change Sunday night and subsequent run with the title may only help in that regard. Now, you could still do the suspected Bayley and Sasha match at WrestleMania, maybe without the belt being involved, as fans would be more than okay with seeing them just go at one another. But my gut tells me to go with Bayley to successfully defend the SmackDown Women's Championship, but my heart is pulling for Lacey Evans. I mean, they slow build the face turn when she had that historic match with Natalya in Saudi Arabia, back on Halloween. But God, this is so tough to call. But they, as the old saying goes, always go with your gut. And I'm sorry, I got to go with Bayley to successfully defend the SmackDown Women's Championship, even though I would love to see Lacey Evans, get a big moment here. Because after all, this was the very event where she debuted a year ago when she was the number one entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble match a year ago. So come full circle. So very tough, but I got to go with my gut for now. But I would not at all be surprised if Lacey Evans were to somehow win the SmackDown Women's Championship. It would be nice to see a deserving champion get the title for a change. So there's really nothing more for me to say on this. I got to go with my gut for now. Winner and still SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, but this is one time I would love to be wrong about it. So there's really nothing more to say. I'm going to throw it now to Michael Bullock. And now, Bullock, it's no secret. You have been, once upon a time, you were one of Bayley's biggest fans, and now all of a sudden you're now her biggest hater and critic.
Absolutely. And like you just brought up, I mean, her reign as SmackDown Women's Champion ever since she turned heel, it's been an absolute failure. Can we all agree on that?
For the most part, yes.
What has she done for us lately? Not a damn thing.
I can't even remember the last time she defended the title. I know she was part of that Survivor Series main event. She didn't. I don't think she defended it at TLC.
No.
Yeah, so I can't even remember the last time she defended it.
I think
That's me.
this might be the first actual title defense since she became the champion.
Wow. That, to me, and I'll be quite honest with you, Fletch, and I don't know how you're going to feel about it, that is not a true representation of the SmackDown Women's Champion. I mean, come on, Fletch. This is your brand's women's title, and you want to have a good representation of it and being able to defend it time after time. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's where you kind of have to go after management. That's where you go after the powers to be. You kind of want to, it's kind of more why. No, I get where you're coming from, Bullock. No, I get it. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, if you want us to take Bayley seriously, you need to have her start defending the title more often. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just how I feel about the whole thing. I mean, it's been an absolute failure, and I'm pretty sure it's going to make you upset because this is your brand's champion, Fletch. You want your champion to be able to defend it and to represent it really well.
Absolutely, I agree.
So, as much as I know Florio said Bayley's going to retain the title, but I'm sorry. If you're going to want to restore prestige to that title, I think you need to put it on someone that will truly represent it, and that someone is Lacey Evans. So, I don't know how you guys are going to – I know Florio said Bayley's going to win it, but I disagree. I'm going to go with Lacey Evans to win this one. And if you put this title on her, I think she could be a good representation of that brand's title, especially ever since her face turn. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Dee Woodson, I give it.
Yeah, for me, this is really hard because I'm kind of with Florio. I'm torn. I want Evans to win, but the gut also says Bayley. So if Evans wins, I'm not going to be that upset about it, but I'm going to go with Florio and say Bayley just because of the gut thing. So it's yours, Fletch.
I'm trying to see if there's any title defenses or anything that I've noticed prior to. And according to this, I think this is her first. Yeah, I don't see any title defenses as far as this other reign has gone. So I think this is indeed her first title match since winning the title. So I mean, I'm a little perplexed. I'm a little shocked that she hasn't defended the title more. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. So we do have ourselves a cool down match here.
Who do you have winning, Fletch?
I got Bayley successfully defending.
Fletch, you know what I got to do here? With Strictly Sports, you know how on game day they do. I'm gonna have to do it here.
Lone Wolf. Bullock.
I'm gonna do it. Oh!
It's a lone wolf. I can't believe we let a lone wolf in the building, man. What the hell? All right. Well, yeah, Mike Bullock is the lone wolf on this one. He's gone alone. He's gone for Lacey Evans. While everybody else is going for Bayley to win it. It's a lone wolf call. That means the howl is out. And Dee Woods is probably laughing her ass off right about now. Probably like, what the hell was that? If you know game day, NFL game day morning, Rich Eisen and the crew, They normally do their predictions on the football games. If somebody decides to go and lone wolfs it, then basically they throw the wolf mask on and you howl. So, yep, we had a lone wolf moment. So, nothing more to say. Let's just continue. Sheamus versus Chad Gable one-on-one match. I believe it goes to you, Michael Bullock. So you lead off on this match. Bullock.
All right. I'm here.
All right.
Okay. Here's well. First off, I got Sheamus winning this one, but
Okay.
here's a little something that I was gonna. Well, it was part of my rant that I was gonna do on the show. All right. The Intercontinental Championship. It is your most prestigious title, most prestigious titles in the history of the WWE, and you don't have it being defended on the pay-per-view, and instead we get this match? No.
Well, wait.
No.
Hold. We don't know for sure if this is pre-show. They haven't announced no pre-show matches yet. So I don't.
Here's the thing: if they put this on the main show, I'm crying foul over this one. I mean, yeah. I mean, you know what? Forget what I just said. I'm just gonna go with Sheamus here. I'm not gonna waste my time on it. Dee Woodson, go.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Sheamus is gonna win this one. I mean, there's not really any doubt in it, so it's sure Fletch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Sheamus as well. Like you said, there's not really much to add here. So, Anthony.
Yeah, there is a slight case you could make for Chad Gable winning this match, namely putting him over via like a roll-up or a quick fluky win on this and giving Sheamus a dominant win the following week on SmackDown. But I don't see WWE going in that direction, considering Sheamus is newly returning. To be fair, WWE has done a decent job building up storylines outside of the title pictures over the last few months. And if they are willing to have Gable go over eventually in a rematch, then whatever happens Sunday is merely a means to that end. It's just unfortunate that Gable appeared to be on somewhat of a roll before entering this showdown. So make it unanimous once again. Celtic Warrior, Sheamus goes over, washes them big. Let's move on.
All right. The rivalry that just cannot go away, but I hope this is the resolution. Falls Count Anywhere. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. Dee Woodson, you lead off.
Yeah, I have Roman Reigns going down as the winner for this one. I'd be really surprised if they have him lose after everything that they've done. So yeah, not much more I have to say about it. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns. I don't think there's really nothing more to add here. Yeah. So Michael, Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
Worst possible option here is for Corbin to use numbers to cheat his way to another win. After the TLC fiasco, Reigns has brought in the Usos to get his back and even the odds as a family. That could make for a good way to set up Corbin still figuring out a way to cheat his way to victory. But Roman Reigns' position on the roster basically demands he gets the win here to not have been repeatedly embarrassed by Corbin. Now, seeing that Roman's got an even bigger deal, an even bigger moment later in the night, in a sense, it would make sense for Roman to lose here, extending their feud another month and delaying Reigns' announcement of, should he win the Rumble, who he would go after. But, it would be like WrestleMania 31 when Seth Rollins fell to Randy Orton early in the show before eventually cashing in Money in the Bank and winning the title. Or last year's Royal Rumble when Becky Lynch lost to Asuka, only to go on to win the Women's Royal Rumble. It's big time tired. yes, WWE could also have Reigns win this match, and maybe Baron King Corbin costs him the Rumble as retribution, but that would prolong the feud even longer, and we cannot stomach it anymore. So far and away, it's the worst thing on SmackDown right now, and hopefully this will be the resolution here. So I agree. This should be where the big dog gets his long overdue retribution here, but they're only doing it, so Roman can be portrayed as a believable babyface, and have him and win over the fans, because there are still some of those fans who are still crucifying him. So, but they've done a great job of positioning himself as that believable babyface. So I'm gonna go with the big dog here. Roman Reigns gets the win here. So Michael Bullock, close this one out.
Yeah, I got the big dog Roman Reigns going over this one as well. So, yeah, there's nothing more to say. Let's move right along, Fletch.
All right. And the next thing we have is the Raw Women's title match. Becky Lynch puts the title on the line against Asuka. For weeks, Becky has been getting dominated by Asuka. This is where I think Becky finally gets the payback, and I say Becky Lynch will successfully defend the Raw Women's title. I think she wins it. So, Anthony, it's yours.
There's only one way this can go, and that is for the man to successfully defend. Give her the win back from last year when they put Asuka over the man last year for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It would be an interesting decision for WWE to have Lynch lose to Asuka in consecutive years, perhaps setting up some sort of a stipulation match at WrestleMania. From a match quality standpoint, that would be among the company's best decisions. It would add a layer to Lynch's booking of being relatively unbeatable since last year's Mania. The more likely scenario is that Lynch finally goes over Asuka and appears to have defeated all her potential challengers, only for a new one, a certain Queen of Spades, or an old one, a certain baddest woman on the planet, to emerge ahead of the big show in Tampa in April. So only one way for this to go. Winner and still Raw Women's Champion, the man, Becky Lynch. Michael Bullock, I'm sure we're going to be in agreement on this.
Yeah, I'm in agreement here. I'm going to go with the man, Becky Lynch here. I mean, yeah, I think she's going to get her payback from last year's Royal Rumble when she lost the SmackDown Women's title to Asuka. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I mean, it only makes sense, Becky wins the title, because you go with the booking 101. She's been beaten up and had to miss the last few times she's faced Asuka. So this would be, this would be good. This would make them, I guess you could say, tied 1-on-1 for their matches, which would lead to maybe a third one later on. And like Florio said, you never know. You could have Ronda Rousey come back, or you could have Shayna Baszler move up as new challengers as well. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I've got Becky Lynch, so it's yours, Fletch.
All right. The next thing we have, the WWE Universal title match on the line here, as it is the champion, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, goes up against Daniel Bryan in a strap match. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
Matt, did you get cut off there?
No, it's all yours.
Okay, all right. Because the sound faded away for a moment. Just waiting for my cue. But,
yeah, it's yours. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So, okay. It's not often we get these kind of matches. It's been a very long time since we've seen it. I mean, when I think of a strap match, two immediately come to mind. Two of them. The first one of the most vicious strap matches in history, the infamous Indian strap match, July 30th of 1979 in Madison Square Garden, Chief Jay Strongbow and Greg the Hammer Valentine. You gotta watch it. It's on the WWE Network as part of that WWS Most Unusual Matches in the home video classics section. You find that, you watch that. Oof, that was vicious, man. Let me tell you. And the other one, and one that I know will is near and dear to MF's heart. You know where I'm going with this, MF. The legendary Caribbean strap match with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Savio Vega as part of that second night of the In Your House Beware of Dog pay-per-view in 96. And different rules here. I mean, when it comes to the strap match, I mean, you remember the rule was to win the match, you had to touch all four top turnbuckle pads. Nope, not this time. Pinfall or some only. That's the only way you can attain victory in this matchup. So that's all I can say there. WWE programming is suffering a bit with two champions whose appearances in the ring are irregular. Wyatt losing and drifting further into madness as The Fiend looks to avenge his loss to Bryan, who would be the fighting champion the fans want. Would be a good move. I mean, Bryan's character development has also indicated that he can't be broken in the way other Fiend opponents have. And that pays off with Daniel Bryan possibly winning the Universal Championship. You know, here with The Fiend continuing to try to break Bryan on the road to WrestleMania. That could benefit SmackDown greatly, a program which has a weekly TV main event problem. Now, has the buzz surrounding Wyatt and his Fiend persona cooled off just a bit since lighting the world on fire last summer? A little bit, but that doesn't mean the Fiend still isn't one of the hottest acts in the company that's featured heavily every Friday night on network television. Bryan has done an incredible job of playing the babyface foil to the unstoppable monster. And hey, if WWE were to decide a change was necessary here, it wouldn't be a back-breaking decision by any stretch. But when it comes down to it, however, the Fiend should continue to terrorize the SmackDown brand and his eventual WrestleMania title challenger going forward into Tampa. So as much as I would love to see Bryan, pull it off, I got to say here, the winner and still the Universal Champion, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Nothing more to say, Michael Bullock. Pinfall or submission only in this submission match, not the turnbuckle pads. And this one could be as vicious as Strongbow and Valentine in 79.
Yeah, and all we can say is both of these men, they're going to get whipped like government mules in this match, and it will not be for the weak of heart. So, yeah, so I agree. I'm going to go with the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, to retain the Universal Championship. So nothing more to say. Dee Whitson first.
Yeah, I agree. The Fiends are going to win it. So what's yours, Fletch?
I'm going to go with Bray Wyatt. No doubt about it. Total agreement. We're just going to dive right in to the next fight of the night, which is, guys, it's time. The Royal Rumble matches. Who do we think are going to win it all? We start with the women. Michael Bullock, as of now, 9 women have entered. We know there's going to be 30 by the day of the Rumble, but the 9 that they have announced as of now, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Sarah Logan, Natalya, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose. But there are a whole bunch of others that have not been announced. We know there's going to be some surprises. We just need to know, Michael Bullock, who do you think wins the Royal Rumble for the women?
Man, I mean, like you said, we know we're going to get some from NXT in the Women's Royal Rumble match. We just don't know who it's going to be. That's part of the whole surprise. So, yeah, I think this should be a good one. But, man, I mean, who do I think's going to win? Well, I'm going to say this right now. It's not going to be somebody from Raw. And it's certainly not going to be somebody from SmackDown. I think it's going to be somebody from NXT. And you want to know who I think that person that woman's gonna be from NXT. That's someone. Well, let's just say she's a certain Queen of Spades, if you know. And yes, that's who I'm talking about. I think it's going to be Shayna Baszler that wins this Women's Royal Rumble match because there are some rumors going about where she's going to be moving on up and that she's going to challenge the man Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. So if that's the case, that's who I'm going to go with to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Shayna, the Queen of Spades Baszler, is going to be your 2020 Women's Royal Rumble match winner. So, Dee Woodson, who do you got winning this?
I could agree with Baszler possibly winning it. The other thing would be, if Ronda Rousey was a surprise entrant in this, that she could possibly come out on top as well. But since we don't know, if she's going to be in this or not, and I'm pretty sure Baszler will, I'm going to go ahead and go with Baszler. But I would not be surprised if we see somebody like Ronda Rousey bust through, a lot of these people as well. And some of the other NXT I think that could be there would be Kaylee Ray, Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, maybe even Rhea Ripley. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I gotta go Shayna Baszler. Shayna right now seems like the most logical choice. If Ronda's in it, then obviously Ronda wins. Because I kind of feel like the winner of this Rumble is going to go after Becky Lynch. I think Becky's the one that everybody wants to go after. Becky's right now the biggest name of them all. She's the biggest star. She's the biggest name. She is right now, she's quintessentially the man. And right now, she is the face of the women's division, and everybody's gunning for her. No disrespect to Bayley, but SmackDown Women's title right now doesn't really seem credible at all. So right now, everybody's gonna want to go after the Raw champion. So, if anything, the next opponent for Becky Lynch will come out of the Royal Rumble. And the two names we've been hearing the whole time has been Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I don't think we're going to see Ronda. We will see Shayna. She wins the Rumble. She goes for Becky at WrestleMania. So I'm going with Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades, to win as well. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
New main roster blood, winning the Rumble and leading to a fresh matchup on the biggest card of the year seems like the way to go. A Ronda Rousey return, though, and a win would cause an even bigger splash and serve as a big money match for WrestleMania. But Baszler feels like a here and now option, while Rousey could make an equally big splash returning on any given week during Raw or SmackDown. Now, there are a couple solid storylines that could play out here once Becky retains her title against Asuka. The most likely is Baszler winning the Royal Rumble and challenging Lynch at WrestleMania. Remember, Shayna Baszler won that women's triple threat match at Survivor Series, only to be brutally attacked afterward by Becky Lynch, seemingly for no good reason. There could be a scenario in which Ronda Rousey maybe returns still, but as a fan in attendance in the crowd, perhaps distracting Charlotte Flair during the match and allowing her friend Baszler to get the final elimination. And that could set up the foreshadowed Lynch-Baszler match, and maybe maybe they could also throw in a big-time featured Flair-Rousey rematch like we saw at the Survivor Series in 2018, maybe?
Dude, that would be awesome if they did that. Wow.
That would be a
Ronda and Charlotte? Dude, sign me up. Let's go.
And Becky and Shayna as well?
Yeah.
There is another option. But WWE could also go in another direction and maybe have somebody unexpected win. maybe Sasha Banks potentially to go after Bayley, or a newly crowned champion Lacey Evans. But I think we're headed in the logical direction here. So, I mean, the callbacks for Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch will not end with her defense against Asuka. Just when she thinks that she's fully exorcised her demons from the past, another will emerge. The topic conversation at the water coolers, the donut shops, what have you, like Derek would always say, coming out of the Rumble, could be the return of Ronda Rousey, who could become the third Women's Royal Rumble winner in history. If Ronda's in it, forget Shayna. It's Ronda all the way. And at WrestleMania in Tampa, we could get that one-on-one match between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey that many were clamoring for, not just at Survivor Series 2018 in LA, but also at last year's WrestleMania at MetLife. So, but for now, this is another gut situation here. Got to go with my gut once again. Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler wins the third ever Women's Royal Rumble match. But mark our words, friends. If Ronda Rousey's in it, the baddest woman on the planet takes it all the way. Nothing more to say. MF, it's time for the main event.
It is the men's Royal Rumble match, and here are the participants as of now. Starting with Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Eric Rowan, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Elias, King Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Otis, Tucker, Rusev, Bobby Lashley, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Big E, Kofi Kingston, R-Truth, Miz, and John Morrison. That's at least 27 of the that's 26 of the 20 of the 30. But the big one that I'm holding out is the 27th one is Brock Lesnar, the WWE champion, starting the Royal Rumble at the number 1 position. He requested to be the first man out. He will be the first man out at Minute Maid Park. All right, Dee Whitson, who do you got? Who do you believe wins the 2020 Royal Rumble?
This one's not easy. I mean, if I go with, the Twitter, Tumblr people, they're saying, Keith Lee or Drew McIntyre. I've also heard Roman Reigns winning this. But I'm not entirely sure. I mean, this is a big field, and there's certainly a lot of names here to choose from. And we could have a Keith Lee or Adam Cole come in. We could have the legends. You could have Booker T, and I've even heard Undertaker may pop in on this. I don't know, but I want to say somebody like Roman wins, but I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre just because it may be his time for the push. Not my favorite person to pick, but I'm going to go with the gut on this one. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right. Wow, this is going to be tough. I got to go Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. I'm going to go the frontline soldier of SmackDown. I kind of feel like this is it's shaping up for Roman to win it. It is shaping up. And the rumor is that I'm hearing that he's going to fight for the title against the Fiend Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. That's been the plan all along, for Roman to get the shot at the belt in Tampa. Obviously, this would be the first move to do it. I think Brock will get eliminated at some point. Now the question is, who is the one that's going to do it? I think the one that does it will probably be his opponent at Mania. Obviously, Drew is a top choice. I heard a surprise, maybe Tyson Fury or or a guy like could get a shot. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait and see what happens. But one thing is for sure, it's gonna be one thing more than another, and we'll wait and see what happens. Nothing more to say. Like I said, I'm gonna go with the call. So I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
What about Cain Velasquez?
I think Kane's gonna be the one that eliminates Brock. I think he dumps him out of the Rumble. Either him or Tyson Fury. One of those two is gonna get him. Brock's not winning this Rumble.
Well, we'll see. But I'll say it like this. This is the first time. This is the first with Brock Lesnar, the WWE champion, being in this Royal Rumble, folks. It's the first time since all the way back in 1990. That's 30 years. 1990. That was the last Royal Rumble event that did not feature a WWE championship matchup. Every year since 1991, all the way up to last year, there had been a WWE championship matchup of some sort. History had been made many of times, but there were a lot of retentions as well. But Brock Lesnar is the first WWE champion since Hulk Hogan to enter the Royal Rumble match with the title not on the line. Now with Brock Lesnar being at number one, two men have entered at number one and won it. Shawn Michaels in 1995, and of course Chris Benoit in 2004. Notice the last name I mentioned, Chris Benoit, and WWE would love to distance themselves from that statistic.
Yes.
What does it mean? Well, it's a far more intriguing than all remaining options. Brock Lesnar making history and sending WWE into chaos would be so simple. Maybe not as simple as the man who eliminates him being the man who challenges him for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, but certainly more interesting. Roman Reigns, however, is the clear, obvious favorite to win for good reason. WWE has done an excellent job rehabilitating his babyface image over the last year by keeping him away from title feuds, not having him look laughably dominant with overbearing booking and generally making him likable. As such, it has come time to pay it off. Now, Reigns could lose the Rumble and maybe win a number one contenders match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in March, for example. That's certainly possible. But fans are ready to accept a babyface Reigns, and the nuclear popularity of the Fiend Bray Wyatt has calmed down to the point that Reigns going over Wyatt for the Universal title at WrestleMania would not only be accepted, but cheered. Plus, the quote-unquote anyone but you Roman storyline has another chapter. Truthfully, as long as it's not Brock Lesnar or Cain Velasquez winning, I'm not sure WWE can make a wrong decision. The writing has been on the wall for quite a while now that we're on a collision course towards Roman Reigns and The Fiend, especially since Wyatt has continually been setting his sights on targets from his past. When it comes to foes from that past, they don't get any more prevalent than Roman. I fully expect those two to square off for the Universal title that Reigns never lost in the ring. Remember, he had to relinquish it because of the leukemia moment. We should know, MF Bullock and I, we were actually there at the dunk. We were there firsthand. We saw it as it happened. And it may very well serve as the main event of WrestleMania 36. That journey starts with Roman Reigns claiming his second Royal Rumble victory in the last 6 years. Come this weekend in Houston. So there's nothing left for me to say except the winner of the 2020 Royal Rumble match on the men's side for the second time in his career, and he'll become the 8th man to do so, joining the likes of Hogan, HBK, Stone Cold, Cena, Triple H, Orton, Batista. I could go on. The big dog, Roman Reigns, is your winner of the Royal Rumble match. Nothing more to say. Bullock, we're going to make this unanimous or what?
Yeah, we're going to make this unanimous. I'm going with Roman Reigns to win. I mean, it makes sense, especially with the rumored feud between him and Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. This makes absolute sense for Roman Reigns to win this Royal Rumble match. So, nothing more to say. Let's wrap up this night.
All right, guys, then we will. So that's it. The next time you'll see us, Sunday night after the Royal Rumble is over. We will be recapping the entire show, and you'll get our thoughts of what we liked, what we did not like, and we will start the road to WrestleMania. All right, guys, so that's it for tonight. Thank you, Anthony Floyo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, Didi Woodson. And thank you guys for watching. So have a good night. So long for now. Bye-bye.